Welcome to Now Go Lead, the podcast where we help you level up your leadership in just 5 minutes. Each episode, we provide inspiring stories and actionable insights to help you lead with confidence and clarity. Whether you're a seasoned leader or just starting out, our goal is to give you the tools and motivation to level up your leadership game. Oh, one day I'll get mine. I remember saying that to myself many years ago. The leadership journey has these long and really unsufferable stretches of drudgery sometimes. I think the early stages of the leader can sometimes be the most difficult, but it's the time you have the freshness of the vision and burgeoning enthusiasm, and we go down the path and we're ready to go. But in the early stages of the leadership journey, we really do have less prerogative and agency than we want to have. That's kind of the years for a lot of people, and they're in an organization, that's what we call middle management. But during that time, we were ready for those next promotions, those next jobs where we're going to have the greater licensure and agency that we want to have. We're going to call the shots and be able to pursue a vision that is ours and ours alone. The thing about being in that place, though, is that we in that moment, we're generally pretty selfish as young leaders. We may not realize it yet, but time, circumstances, all the things have not done all their work on us to really mold us into the person, the leader that we need to be to actually hold those greater offices. But it's a critical moment that I've seen so many leaders in this period of middle management that truthfully don't make it through. But a wise heart will be able to see through it, and be able to see through some of those day-to-day things, and a selfish heart can really begin to build up some resentment. I was thinking about the C.S. Lewis novel, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and Eustace. Now, Eustace was this boy who really didn't want to put in the work. He came from a background of privilege, and he had a very selfish attitude towards life. He always felt like he was getting the raw end of the deal. He was the one getting screwed, and whatever the situation, it wasn't going his way. But later on in the book, they come upon this unexplored island, and Eustace wanders off, and he finds a treasure that was being guarded by a dragon who wasn't there anymore, and he claims this kind of treasure as his own, and he begins to think about all the ways that he's going to get back at all the people who've wronged him along the way. And he takes a nap. He begins to fall asleep there on top of the treasure, just thinking about all of these kind of selfish thoughts. And when he wakes up, he realizes that he's actually turned into the dragon himself. And it's only when he becomes a dragon that he begins to realize a lot of the things that people already knew about him, that he was the one who was the problem, not everyone else. Unfortunately for Eustace, the process of becoming a dragon, that's not easily undone. That was a really big problem. But of course, we know Eustace eventually encountered Aslan, who was able to help, but there was going to be a cost to get back to where he needed to be. I don't know your journey, and I can guess, though, that if you're reading this, that you're probably human. But that still doesn't mean that you might not have some of your own dragon scales that have built up along the way. Sometimes these scales have made you feel like you do have power over other people, but now you're at a place where you realize that they're holding you back from the next levels of leadership. You've gotten to a place where maybe things are starting to shake loose. It's time to move from middle management to that next level, but these scales of resentment and anger are maybe killing part of the soft heart that really needs to develop inside of you. So I want you to think for 5 minutes. What kind of resentments and hurts are you holding on to that may have happened along the journey? They've really hurt. There's no doubt that some of the things that have happened have hurt you and have been difficult, and you've got resentment towards people or places or things or whatever it is. What are they? What are these dragon scales that you're allowing to remain because you don't want to go through the process of removing them? Even though Aslan was kind and compassionate, and he was the only one that could really deal with dragon scales, he knew exactly what needed to be done. It was really up to Eustace to submit to the process of going through this. And it hurt. It hurt a lot, but ultimately, Eustace submitted to the process. He became whole again, and maybe at some level finally became the person that he was always meant to be. So, one thing, be willing to find the Aslins in your life that can help you identify the scales and also has the skill to perhaps help you remove and break some of these things down. Even if you find them, though, it is going to be up to you to be willing to submit to that process, remove the hurt, remove the anger and the resentment to help you move forward. It's time to now go lead. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Now Go Lead. Join us next week as we cover a brand new leadership topic and help you level up your leadership in just 5 minutes. For more resources, tips, and inspiration, visit our website at nowgolead.com. You can also connect with us on Instagram at nowgolead and on LinkedIn. We would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us grow and reach more leaders like you. Also, don't forget to share this podcast with your colleagues and friends who are on their own leadership journey. Now Go Lead is produced by HP Engineering Studios in beautiful Northwest Arkansas. Now go lead.